Welcome to the Hired AV Podcast. My name is Joe Way. I am your host, and we have a good one for you today. We are talking ISE. ISE is, to me, the best show out there. It's owned by Avix. Well, they're both owned by Avix, so I can say that, right? But it is the juggernaut. Hopefully, you all listened a couple, last week. To the episode where I, 2 weeks ago, had Mike Blackman on, and we talked about the show, different things they're doing this coming year, and it is going to be back to pre-COVID numbers and bigger. Barcelona is a great city. I'm excited. I know for those of us in the States, it seems like, that conversation telling your boss you're going to Europe is a hard sell, but it has the most value to me for our vertical, and a lot of it because it's a time of year where new gear comes out. It's also a great time of planning for us because, Infocom, we love Infocom, obviously. It is actually Infocom is my favorite. Okay, how can I say that? They're tied for first, and then everybody else. No, it's not, because HETMA conference is number one. So they're tied for second. And then this is a point where I think I need to stop talking.
No, you're doing great.
You're doing great. We're just looking at making it, enjoying you making a fool of yourself as you try to explain.
Well, that's what I do. At least I got the start right this time. Last episode, I couldn't even get the start right. So, it's just, how can I be in 234 episodes and still have to be making rookie mistakes? But I don't know. Anyway, as everyone knows, last year, Hired AV, we went out there and we covered the show live, and we did some podcast recordings. We did all that. We're doing it again. One big change since last year, HETMA has acquired Hired AV. So we are doing it as HETMA.org. And of course, we're doing it bigger and better. And we have the crew who is going out there here on this episode. And so let's just start. Erin, introduce yourself, tell people who you are and what you do.
Hello, I am Erin Maher-Moran. I am the IT manager for classroom technology at Johns Hopkins University on the Homewood campus. I'm the vice chair of HETMA, and I'm also the host of AV Nation's EdTech podcast.
Yeah, and you're going to be doing some stuff for EdTech there too as well, and coverage there. So that is awesome. And moving on, BC, please introduce yourself, tell people who you are and what you do.
All right, my name is BC Hatchett. I'm the Associate Director for Classroom Technology here at Vanderbilt University in lovely Nashville, Tennessee. Oversee all the classroom technology for the university. In addition, I am one of the HETMA co-founders with Joe, and I am a board member emeriti and enjoying that role immensely.
And of course, you write for Hired AV as well, and you're going to do some guest podcasting too for the Hired AV.
I do the occasional article whenever I can remember to hit the submission deadline. I'm world worst at meeting deadlines, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, and also we'll be doing some guest hosting of the fantastic Hired AV podcast in the very near future. We're really looking forward to that because I think the folks that know me know that I love to talk shop and babble incessantly about things. So I think it's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Looking forward to having you back out there. And next up, Britt, please tell people who you are and what you do.
Hello, I am Britt Yenser, Director of Event Technology at Moravian University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I am the HETMA Communications Chair, and I write the Somehow I Manage column on Hired AV, as well as host the Brave Space podcast.
And I do encourage everyone to listen. We've got you scheduled. You're going to do some Brave Space there, and it's I can't wait to hear the conversations because it's a different group out there. Europeans are a little different. You're a little wacky as Europeans, So I think it'll be a good conversation. Wacky is the official term. Yeah. So I'm saying that as I then turn it over to the European, who is not an AV Brit. Okay, you have to make sure you're not an AV Brit.
We have our own hashtag now.
You have your own hashtag?
Yeah, because during the year, okay, better introduce myself first.
Who are you and what do you do?
Who am I? I can never do this right there. as my name says, I'm Justin Dawson, working with Dublin City University as a senior tech officer. What exactly does that mean? I still have 3.5 years later trying to figure it out. I deal with tech and they pay me. It's great. I look after the School of Nursing, Psychotherapy and Community Health there in Dublin City University. I also present the All Things Techie podcast. I've known Joe for far too long, and we co-host this crazy program called Across the Ponds podcast, where we just have a big rant about AV in higher education. And where the hashtag comes from is last year, middle of last year, we set up, I set up a thing called AV Groupie, which is a social network site for Irish AV professionals, not just higher ed. And now we do have the hashtag AV Group E, spelled IE. Yeah.
That's lame. I mean, no, that's cute. I'm just kidding. You know what? We got to make fun of the Europeans while we're. I shouldn't do that before.
Everyone makes fun of the Irish. So it's great, but like everyone makes fun of the Irish, but everyone loves the Irish, especially Americans. So we love
that. Is true. We do. All right. So we have 3 people. Actually, look at this episode, Higher Ed AV podcast, episode 1 and 2 on this same episode right now. Mm-hmm. How about that? I guess 1, 2. All right. We have 3 of us were there last year, and Erin and Britt, this will be your first ISE total and your first trip to Barcelona. So I'm going to start with you so we can get your opinions and then tell you where you're wrong. No, just kidding. So Erin, I'll start with you. What is it? Where's the value? Why do you want to go to the show? Besides the fact we're covering it and HETMA's, we're building that. Why would you want to go to a show that's already all the way over there?
Well, I have said this before that as much as us Americans like to think that we do everything just number one and we're the best at it all, I do appreciate seeing the global influence and seeing what they're doing elsewhere beyond our own country. So getting to see a show like ISE, which is like even larger than Infocom, I think we're going to be able to get a kind of a bit of a glimpse of that.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. It's a unique, it is a very unique show too, because it is different. Like, Infocom, I always say, like, we go for the training, the education, and this is 100% show. Like, it doesn't have, even though there's the summits and we're going to have our panels that we'll be putting together, it's not the same type of shit. So this is gear. This is, a lot more gear too. So I think you're going to love that. Britt, what are you looking forward to? What makes it for you say this is a show I want to go to?
Well, I'm always thinking about the power of higher education and how much I love this vertical and how much I love my institution. And Moravian, up until relatively recently, was actually Moravian College, and we changed to a university. Part of the reasoning for the new nomenclature was the fact that the word university made more sense to international students. And so I'm really excited to now travel internationally and just continue to represent my institution. Every time I introduce myself, I'm Britt Yenser, Director of Event Technology at Moravian University. So just being able to keep putting my institution out there is special.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it is a great opportunity too, because, the world is getting smaller, right? And to be able to, go over there and represent our schools, the large schools, the small schools, all the different schools, there's so much that's in common, and it's amazing how much too, go back to the Europeans it's a great show because you get a lot of the Asian companies that won't show at Infocom will go to ISE, which is also why it's huge. You want to talk about LED wall area, huge. And they know our schools. It's amazing how you come and you break, like I'll mention where I was at Cal Baptist. Like nobody knows that school, right? And like, oh yeah, this. And then I remember it. I'm like, well, how do you know this stuff? So it's amazing.
As they said, with 10,000 stock of something that you only wanted one to try out.
Yeah, wear your sunglasses when you go to the LED wall area.
Oh yeah.
All right, BC, you were there last year. What makes you want to go back to the show? And let me say, not just that, because who doesn't want to go back? But what was that thing you went last year? You didn't know what to expect. You experienced a show. Where do you go? Okay, this is the thing that says, that most people wouldn't know about. And there was a question in there somewhere, I swear.
No, I mean, last year going to ISE was always a bucket list item for me. It was, even when I first heard about it and saw what it was, I was like, this is amazing. But I knew that, putting in that request to go to Europe would probably tell me, I would just think, all right, go out the door. But after going out there last year and seeing it, just the scale of it is so much larger than Infocom. And I don't mean that in a bad way either. I know usually by day 3 of Infocom, everybody is completely exhausted of walking the floor and having conversations. But I think one of the biggest standouts of ISE is that even though it's a huge show, the feeling of it is a lot more laid back. Like, it is a lot more social. The stands and the booths, usually they all have some type of coffee or refreshment, and they encourage more conversation than just, hey, let me scan your badge and I'm going to move on to the next person. It's very very welcoming, I would say. Not that Infocom's not, but that was kind of what struck me the most, was that there was a much more positive vibe around it. Still business, but not as business. So I'm looking forward to being able to see that again. And I think also, now that I kind of have my feet wet, so to speak, I know kind of what the layout of the building is and how things are done. I'm looking forward to maybe seeing a few more things and maybe able to fully enjoy the show more this time, now that I know what to expect.
Yeah, and by the way, when you say coffee and or refreshments, I think the emphasis should be on the refreshments. They're drinking sangria at 10 a.m. when the doors open. Okay, this is not Infocom where you have to wait till 3 o'clock when no. This is, I think there's kava and sangria in the baby bottles there. Okay, that is, get ready. It is one nonstop party. All right, Justin, same question to you. You went last year, you experienced it. What is your takeaway? And again, and this also, you're an ISE veteran too, because it used to be in Amsterdam. So this, for us, it's big, but for you, it was a local show. Now you're actually kind of having to travel. It used to be local for you.
So because it's the 20th year, I think I'd say there's new tech out there. We have some NDAs that we've signed, so we can't talk about them. But there is new tech out there, but also it's the 20th year. So I think there's going to be a lot put on by integrated systems events to celebrate the fact that it's the 20th year. We've both interviewed Mike Blackman in the past couple of weeks. It's funny to think that his eldest child is now turning 20 because literally a couple of days after ISE started, his wife gave birth for the first time. And if they don't celebrate that properly this year, I think they have to do it properly next year for his 21st birthday. We just have to hunt down his son and bring him into the event and do a big party. But I think the ribbon cutting, last year, the ribbon cutting didn't take place because the King of Spain was there. I think the ribbon cutting, on the fact that this is the first ISE post-COVID that people can enjoy the ribbon cutting, and it's the 20th year, it's going to be very special.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's really cool too, around the city. Everyone's going to see how the city embraces the show too. And you'll see the environmental projection and things like that, especially at the Casa Batillo and all of that. It's just amazing stuff.
I think I've said that to Mike as well. I think Spain and Barcelona have embraced that more than Amsterdam has. You arrive, and I know Mike has even said that they hope to have more in the coming years at the airport, but you arrive and you set foot in Barcelona, and there's one street that has on every pillar going towards the Fira. You're in the right area. If you don't know Barcelona, you just follow those road signs and you get to the Fira.
Absolutely. So this is great. I think everybody nailed exactly why you'd want to go. And for me, this is my, this is now my third in probably my sixth ISE total, will be my third in Barcelona. And, to me, I keep saying this is the best show. The move to Barcelona was smart. It's the best convention hall that exists. It's so big. It's so easy to get around. Little upset that it took to the last day last year before we learned that the Skywalk existed. Knowing the Skywalk existed on day one would have been helpful. Let me just say that. But now we know. And I went a whole year before and didn't even know about it. And so But let's talk why you go to ISE, and that's the stuff, that's the gear, that's the technology. And I'm just going to do another host rookie mistake and throw this out to the crowd. What is the technology that you would hope to see? What is we missing and from a higher ed vertical? Bless your little heart there, Erin. She sneezed. For those who can't see, she sneezed, but if you're not watching. Okay. What's the technology you're hoping to find? You think we're ready for? We're not ready for.
And we keep hearing about how great AI is and how that's going to revolutionize our industry. And so far, I've seen some things here and there, but I haven't seen anything yet that kind of shows me what direction the manufacturers or developers are going. So I'm hoping that there's something there that kind of demonstrates the potential power of AI in the AV industry, but again, it's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to kind of have to wait and see what's there for it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the buzzword. As we
AI.
Yeah. AI is the new buzzword instead of 4K or 8K screens. AI is going to be the biggest word. And
just for once, I would love for a buzzword to live up to everybody's hype on it. Yes. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting too, at our school, we are hiring chief AI officers, right? We are doing that at our institution, right? And bring this in. It'd be interesting to see how technology kind of catches up, because you're right, it is a buzzword, but is it just machine learning or good here we go. I'll have to say James King. Now he has to retweet this. But he has said that, that AI is just good programming. I disagree, whole other conversation. But are people just going to put it at their booth just to say they have it, or are we actually going to see it?
And, I think that when people do that, when everybody just puts it, hey, we have AI, no, that's not really it. But I think whenever they do that, it kind of dilutes the impact once somebody finally makes a breakthrough, because we get so used to seeing AI or 4K or 8K or whatever the flavor of the month is, that when somebody actually develops something that is workable, they have to work that much harder to show that, no, we are actually applying what all the hype is about.
I think on the sound levels of AI, there's one company that really comes to me. Are we allowed to mention companies today? I have to say
no name drop. Oh
no,
my God, that was loud.
That was
okay,
loud.
hopefully that the software did calm that down for you.
Yeah,
but wow, that came right back into my
AI
ear.
software calmed it down. But one that is a sponsor of the Higher Ed AV podcast and HETMA as well, that does a lot in sound, begins with a B and ends with a P and has IAM in the middle, it's very good. Like, they are experts at what they do, but their whole idea of spatial audio with their microphones, like, I know they even brought out a firmware update to one of their video bars only recently. I've had people in that company that says, okay, we might not be the best in video and camera, but we are the experts in sound, and they are the experts in sound, and they are using AI to do this beamforming technology. And you know what? I have rigorously put their bar to the test, and you can be heard in every corner of the room. Even if you wanted to hold a pillow over your face, which I nearly did when I was practicing in our clinical education center, it picks up perfect sound in every corner of the room, and they have to be applauded for that. And I think, so, like, as BC was saying, like, don't use the words AI if you can't really stand up to the test, and that company really does.
Yeah, absolutely. Britt?
Well, I'm also wondering if maybe this year is finally the year that VR becomes more of a usable technology. Like, there's been it's the term's been around for a while already, but there really hasn't been like the easily applicable use of it. So I'm curious to see if maybe this will be the time for it.
And I think, Erin, like, that sort of links in with the AI ends of things. I know Joe and I talked about this in Across the Pond. Like, yes, we've all seen the goggles, we've all seen the hardware that we have to wear, but it's the cost of the actual software and creating this content for higher ed, which is going to get ridiculously cheaper as people are able to tell an AI program, I want you to create me a clinical skills environment. Boom, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you could get an AI system to do a digital twin of your campus without having to employ a massive amount of programming cost and effort, that would be a game changer overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and I think just having a software where you could like upload your Revit drawings or your CAD drawings and have it create a 3D model for you is be incredible. I guess technically Revit is a 3D model, but you get what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then be able to create that in an environment where now, you throw on the goggles or whatever, or you just watch it on a screen. I was thinking about, so fun fact, why do people wear the goggles? Really, it's just a screen that's close to your face. Think about it for a second, right? It could just be.
It makes you look cool. Remember we did that Across the Pond podcast where you actually wore them for a while?
Yeah.
I guess when you're trying to explain it, saying put on your goggles is a little more efficient than saying put the screen on your face.
Britt, how about for you? What technology are you hoping to see, or are we ready for or not ready for?
It's kind of a generic answer, but anytime I go to a show, I'm looking for technology that can continue to enhance our live events in a way that is appropriate for the higher ed environment. And that is very challenging because anytime you go into an event area, they're like, here are strobe lights and fog machines. And
lasers.
I'm like, that'd make commencement super cool, but I don't think anyone wants that. So, I have to be strategically thinking about the core purpose of our events and what our brand is, what we want our things to look like, and kind of scope out the show floor to see like, okay, maybe I can make that work. It's a lot of strategic thinking, really, of like, that wasn't actually the intended purpose of this product, but I can make it work for this.
Well, one thing you're going to love, there's an entire live events hall. I totally forgot. There is, and you've got the women in live events area there too. And they might actually be moving over to the influencers lounge with us. I can't remember. Don't take me on that, but I want to say they might be. I know it's us with HETMA Hired AV. Save is there with us, and I just did the thing just did a thumbs up. Okay. That was kind of neat. I didn't know that this software did that. Okay, cool. And then it also, I want to say the women in live events was with, but don't take me. But anyway, there is a whole live events hall, and so I'm curious. We're gonna have to circle back around afterwards, or while we're there, maybe we can cover it. To be honest, I shouldn't, because now that I have live events that falls under me and I have prediction, maybe I will have to pay attention. But that's always the hall I pass, right? Because for the last 7 years, even though I came through live events, I've always been in classroom. So I'm really interested in getting your take afterwards on what those takeaways are for us, because this isn't an NAB, this is a commercial integration show. So that all the equipment there is going to be based on what you install, how we service our customers. So I love that. That was a great point. So moving on, I have to say here, hold on, we have to do the commercial. Get a free ISE floor pass with the code that rolls off your tongue, QBNFCBQ3. Again, for those who didn't get it the first time, QBNFCBQ3, not 2, but 3. So I want to know how you get to that code, and was there a 2? Like that's anyway. Or just message, or just go on and put that you want it with Higher Ed AV and HETMA and all that. And the reason I want you to do that and use this code is because then you're going to get the information to show up on the different events that we're doing. And the key one I want to tell you about is Wednesday. All right, so if you go, watch this for those who are watching, higheredav.com/ISE 2024. higheredav.com/ISE 2024 has all the coverage. So here's the thing. Even if you're not going to the show, this is where you're going to go to see all the articles that we post, the booth tours that we post, the videos, the write-ups, that each day we'll do a summary of kind of what happened at the show. We'll announce press releases there. So that's where you're going to go to get all of it. And also, if you are at the show, it's where you're going to see our shared calendar of where to go, where we're going to be. And the main one is Wednesday. There's really 2 higher ed focused things. And Wednesday at the Influencers Hub 4F500, that is Hall 4, row F, number 500, right by Avixa. We're right next to the Avixa booth, actually. And that's where we're on Wednesday. We're going to have panel sessions, and we're going to have the official higher ed happy hour. Okay, so come get some sangria, get some. They got the beers. Actually, the Spanish beers are pretty good, but you know, when you're there, you got to have the sangria. And get some food, and that's going to be catered for you. And then we'll go. Oh, BC wants to say something.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Here you go. I got your sticker too here, Justin.
Get some swag. Get some swag.
Swag. Yes, I have to carry swag halfway across the globe.
So the coolest thing about that happy hour last year, of course, you know, not the refreshments necessarily, but was you know, as an American coming over there, meeting all our counterparts from the higher ed side. That was a lot of fun.
What was the Spanish? What's his name? Oh, we made a new friend, and what was his name?
Starts with a C.
Carlos.
He's at UNC.
Oh, he better come. He's a VIP.
Yeah, he was at UNC. I remember that. We randomly met him out there. But yeah, just, you know, meeting with our counterparts from across the country, or across the world in this case. That was really cool. Just having some conversations and realizing, hey, the same challenges I face, you face, even though you are across the pond, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a recovery type of couple of hours as we tell people about our stories of why people think tech doesn't work and likes to blame it on us.
Yeah. And of course, for those who are there, you're going to also start off on Tuesday is the AV Nation tweet up. Okay. If you've been to it at Infocom, there's one at ISE. It's in the booth. They're using the HD-based T booth. So that is from 4 to 6 on Tuesday. Hashtag AV tweet. So make sure you go to that. And then Wednesday, of course, is our happy hour at our event, not to mention booth recordings, and we'll do some podcast recordings there. We'll do a little bit, some coverage of the show floor. And then of course the after hours. So
nothing happens at the after hours.
Nothing happens at the after hours. So, all right. I'm going to throw this to two who've been there, and then I'm going to have a follow-up question for the two that aren't. And actually, only BC can answer this. Which Peerless Party, Infocom or ISE?
You know, they're each special in their own way. But I will say the one at ISE kind of knocked my socks off, so to speak. It was it was hard to put into words. Just a good time was had by all. The entertainment was fantastic. The camaraderie was fantastic, and it was just a really cool experience overall.
Yeah. I remember you standing against the wall on the dance floor, and you're just like, if my daughter saw me, like this is like the nightclub of nightclubs, and it was banging.
And if anybody knows me, knows that I am not a nightclub person. I'm going to pull this bar stool up in this quiet corner and just kind of observe. So I was doing that, but on a club level, and I was just there going, oh my God, what is happening here? There's a person there with a fiddle, and it's got strobe lights coming off of it. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So then, and I'm going to throw this to Erin and Britt. Either of you can take it. Again, rookie mistake and a host. I should pick one. But you've obviously Googled Barcelona since you knew you were going. You've seen it. You've looked into ISE. What are the things that you're looking for the city? Not necessarily the show, but again, I think to me, part of going to a show is experiencing the local thing. So what are those things that you're looking forward to? And I will say yes, the after parties do live up to their reputation.
The food.
The food.
Absolutely. I love food. So that is one of the things that I whenever traveling, like I always I don't want to go to the tourist places. I want to go to the legit places where the locals go. So I'm super looking forward to getting to experience some of that. But if the ISE Peerless Party was more amazing than the Vegas one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just get ready. Just get ready. That's all I can say.
Gotta start planning my outfit.
I mean, it goes till 4 a.m. I mean, it's
which to us, 4 a.m. isn't really all that late because anybody's from the States, it's really
there is a reason the show floor opens later and then closes later. So in Barcelona, the Spanish go late and pick up. So Britt, how about you? Barcelona, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, I co-sign Erin. That's what I would have said is the food. Like I'm a foodie. I'm always excited to try new cuisines and not have to pay for them. Hey, I will say though, like as an introvert, I am a little nervous because my social battery does drain. And I know like with all like being on the show floor all day and then going to these like party networking opportunities, like you all are gonna have to draw straws to see like who wears me like a backpack at the end of the night because I'm just like can't anymore.
We got you, Britt. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's weird because there's a certain, it's hard to say it unless you've been there. It doesn't feel like the nights go late. The next thing you know, it's just 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
You get busy talking and networking, and all of a sudden, like, and that happens actually on the trade show floor as much as it happens going, oh my God, it's 5 p.m. and it's happy hour, and we have to get all this equipment away safely before we go out to dinner and then to the after party, and then remember, like, what do I have to post up, after the videos and the podcast that we recorded? Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Like, people think that we just go for a big party. We are working too. We are.
Yes.
It
is work. I actually think it's more work to go to a show than to stay back home. Right. Yep. And that was so here's my personal pet peeve: when people go to trade shows and treat it like a vacation. Right. This is your opportunity to learn, connect, gather information, be strategic about the future. Right. I work so much harder at a trade show than I do back at the office. And not that that's, but you know what I mean? Like that's because you've got to take advantage of it. So I'm going to go back to you, Britt, because I think you bring up a good point. A lot of people always say, hey, Infocom needs an extra day open, right? Because it's only 3 days. ISE, you now have 4 days. And everyone loses ISE and goes, it needs an extra day because it's just that much bigger. There's a reason there's now 4 days. How do you pace? Like, okay, we're getting there in the morning. We're going to cover things. We're going to do some interviews for the day. You're going to walk the show floor. You're going to look at things for your school. We're going to go and we're going to meet in the happy hours. Then you're going to go out and we're going to have dinner. And then we're going to go to some parties. And then you got to how do you take care of yourself? What is that advice you can give to people? And not just even ISE. Let's talk that for a trade show just in general, because they can be very overwhelming, especially if you are an introvert. And but this is your opportunity to take advantage of something that you wouldn't normally.
Right. For me, I like to plan ahead. So I like to go into it, one, knowing what my days are going to look like. And of course, allowing myself some flexibility. I'm not like scheduling hour by hour, but having a general overview of this is what I know I can expect. And then based on that expectation, seeing where I can insert a little bit of downtime if I'm going to need it, and knowing ahead of time what it is I'm looking for. Like prior, we all had a conversation about like when I hit a trade show floor, this is what I expect and this is what I'm looking to find. Having that clear vision of what I'm looking for helps me to stay focused, because it's kind of like going to Disney World too, right? Like you're never going to be able to see everything. So you have to go in knowing exactly what you want to see and seek it out purposefully.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think and it is a fine line too between planning it and ironically, I'm actually writing an article. So thank you for those points. I will put those in there. I will not give you credit, but you will know when you read it. And actually it is a good point. I actually just wrote the section on pre-planning, and it is important, right? You kind of know why you're going to be there, what you're going to do, but also there's that fine line between you also have to let it be organic as well, right? You have to allow some room for the moment to happen, right? And I also think that with like gear too, right? Like it would be impossible to give ample time and stop at every booth. You just couldn't do it, right? So I think going, okay, if you are, a Crestron house or an Aurora house or whatever, and you go, hey, I need to make sure to stop by there because you got to get that information and see what direction you're going. If you're sure or neither, make sure you stop by there, but also have that flexibility to be open to maybe something new. And that's a fine line, right? Erin, back to you. So then what are your tips? How do you then navigate that? Because also, I mean, you're going to be multiple hatting it, right? You've got HETMA, you're leader there, right? You same thing you had to do at Infocom, right? And then now you've got AV Nation and doing that, plus the stuff we're going to be covering. What is your plan to make the most out of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm as bonkers as things are in my brain. I have to be as organized as possible. So I'm already starting my spreadsheet for packing, for like planning out what I'm going to wear each day. I've already looked up like appropriate attire for Barcelona. So as a professional, like I will be leaving my bright yellow, my bright red, my bright green, those sort of dresses that I wear at Infocom. Those will be packed away for until June. But, and I'm basically, plan my work my plan. Like definitely everything's got to be kind of, I need to see it in advance to really make sure that I get all the things done that I need to, but allow myself some grace because I know that I'm, especially maybe that first day. So if anybody has tips for dealing with a time change of that difference, like I've done a couple, but usually it's the other way. So going that direction, where the first morning, it's going to feel like the middle of the night to me. That's going to be the trickiest part, I think, to navigate and staying hydrated.
And here's hydrate. And so you made a couple of good points. I'm gonna respond to them because it's my show and I can do that. First points for again, I've got 3 hours extra difference than you have too, right, on that time change. Here's the secret to do it, because as someone who is the world traveler and had to do this, there's two, and this was told me early in my career. When you leave your house from door to door, act like it's the time that it is there. Okay, so if it's middle of the night, as soon as you get on the plane, start sleeping. And I know it might only be the afternoon for you or morning, but force yourself to do it. And if actually the planes are pretty good at that. They actually know how to speed up time or slow down time to make it so that you kind of feel what it is when you're there. Take advantage of that. Don't watch movies and stuff on the plane unless in the time it's there does happen to be the daytime and you might be staying up the night. And then when you land, you must stay up until it's time to go to bed of that time there. So if you arrive at 9 a.m. and you've been up all day, don't take a nap. You got to stay all the way up and then fall asleep. Then you'll wake up just fine. That's how you do it. It works every time. So there you go. The next thing about dress, that's a good point. There's some people, just so you know, just like any city, we had people had stuff stolen, right? I had my credit card wiped, right? Remember that BC, and I'm sitting there trying to call Capital One because someone had a card reader and walked it and ended up snagging my card number, and I'm getting these notifications on my phone, and so I make sure that you've got to be careful. And here's the thing. We just look like tourists, right? And because it's beautiful. If you're walking through the Gothic Quarter, and this is nothing against Barcelona being unsafe. In fact, it's very safe. You feel very safe. But just like anywhere, if you come to go to Disneyland and you look like a tourist, there's going to be people who can take advantage of you, right? And that's the same thing. And when we're walking through the Gothic Quarter to go get that real food, not the tourist food on the main La Rambla, but we're going to go off La Rambla and we're going to turn into the Gothic Quarter and we're going to get some real food and get the paella that BC can't eat, but we're going to have it.
Don't worry, I'll eat steak with you, BC.
Yes, that is the best steak ever. Yes.
It's good steak. Oh, yeah. Was that the steak that we passed around, bites to bites or something? Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, that was good. Was that at Epiphan?
Yes. I thought we weren't allowed to mention names.
Just got to give credit where the steak is due.
Yes.
I mean, steak where the credit is due. Whatever. Yes. So anyway, So that's it. So make sure that even if you're walking, you're seeing these beautiful buildings and you're walking in the Gothic quarter and you make that one turn and there's the old church right in front of you, right? And then on the other side is the where we had dinner that one night, BC, and up on the rooftop, and you're looking at, and they just got to be safe, right? And just realize there will be people who will take advantage of that. And so I agree. And it's the whole comfortable shoes thing. Yes, you want to dress up, but these are long days, and if you're wearing something that on day one that's hurting your feet, you're gonna hate it on day 4, right? And so that's good.
I co-sign on all of that, especially the anticipate the time you're going to be landing and act accordingly. Like that is saved me in trips to Japan, England, everywhere. That's clutch. But situational awareness. Just just always know where you're at, who's around, and you'll be fine. Like seriously, I walked around La Rambla late at night by myself more than once and never felt. I felt like I was just walking around downtown Nashville, to be quite honest with you.
I think it's the same with every city. It's just like your own city in Dublin. Like don't be stupid. Don't take out your wallet or your phone in the middle of a busy street like La Rambla would be the same as our O'Connell Street in Dublin. You just don't do it. It's
Yep. And then also make sure and Americans, we're very testy about Christopher Columbus. He's a hero there. Remember that. So you always say nice things about Christopher Columbus, regardless. Okay, remember. And he's the one reason that put Spain on the map, right? Because the trade opened up the trade routes. So, and you'll see this Christopher Columbus statue is beautiful. And then you walk right down to the marina. We're going to go to a party on the first night we all arrive. Well, maybe some people are there, but first night we're going to a party that's right on the marina. So that'll be great. It's beautiful. So we need, at some point, we're going to land this ship and close up this episode. I normally do a rapid round. And so let's see. We talked about food. What's a good rapid round question? This is I did not prepare for this, everybody, part of the show.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay,
I've got one. All right, what is your go-to travel item that other people might not think of?
Go-to travel. All right. It's actually easy one, and I'm going to give a heads up. Hello, AV Nation, for the best head pillow ever. Oh my gosh. And it wraps around. Then you got that and a hood. So anyone who's traveled with me across the world, okay, I have this thing where I turn into a cocoon on the plane. Okay. I wear a hoodie. Okay. I wear especially if you're going across the globe. Like if you're going to be on a plane for 12 hours, don't wear something comfortable, right? Wear slip-on shoes, right? That you can then take off, right? And you can get and I seriously, I put my headphones in, these same ones, in ears. I put the hoodie up and over. And my hands go in the hoodie thing. I get my headrest, and then I'll see you in 12 hours. That is my travel thing, and that it helps. So it kind of goes back. Someone else.
Okay, I'm going to say power banks. Definitely bring power banks. I actually, BC, after I seen your power bank, I went Anchor all the way. Anchors are just brilliant. They're more expensive, but they do the job. So plenty of power banks, plenty power adapters for you guys.
Yes, power adapters for us. Get the that is good. Yes, for people coming from North America, remember they have the different little thingy. You can buy a universal, but also make sure that it's not a cheap one that just passes the power through, because you will blow up your device. You want to make sure it actually converts it from the 220 to the 110, right? You got to make sure of that. It actually converts it. They're a little more expensive, but you can get them. I have a great one that's it pushes out. So wherever I go in the world, it's the same brick. So if I go to Japan, it's got that one. I go to, Europe, it's this one. I go to, to Dubai, it's this one, right? So one thing, it was like $40. It's great. Good answer. Next.
I think for me, it's especially since I'm terrible at drinking water, bringing liquid IV or a vitamin C powder, especially with traveling. You always get dehydrated, but also get exposed to the germs. So it's good to have those little extra immune boosts.
Yes.
And paracetamol. Paracetamol the next day.
I got to tell you, speaking, the germs, the IV, and they call liquid IV kava there. Okay, in sangria, that's what they do. No, actually, was it the best? Actually, one of my best memories, and it's funny because even Mike Blackman brought it up on the show. He's like, "You guys got to do that again," because we did an impromptu after the parties ended. We went to the Irish bar. And that was when I spilled the whole drink and I drank the whole drink off the tray. Anyway, that's
that was the whole thing.
That was the year of COVID.
Okay, I'm sorry, but when you are standing, we were in an Irish bar in Barcelona singing "Sweet Caroline." Okay, come on.
That was before I arrived.
No, what was it? No,
I would have stopped you right there if I was there.
Was it Sweet Caroline? I remember.
What
roads?
Oh, Take Me Home, Country Road. Yes, that's what it was. You're right. Oh, that was such a great moment. Like just that feel. It was like, listen, where am I? So that was great. And Efot was the one who give her credit for throwing that together, and Patty. So, all right, and
again with Europeans and Irish being the best of the Europeans countries.
Britt, what is your go-to travel thing? You gotta answer it yourself.
Oh, actually a large scarf. So one, you can wear it as a scarf, but if it's big enough, you can also wear it as a shawl for like extra warmy time. Or especially as a woman, like if I'm going to visit a cathedral or something, I can use it as a head covering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Multi-purpose scarfing. I like it. BC, did you answer? I forget.
I did.
You did not. What is your answer?
All right, I've got a couple, but this is it. This is like my water bottle extraordinaire. It's got all the lovely stickers and things from people I've met and events I've attended. This is kind of like if you ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they always say, always bring your towel. I always bring this water bottle because it helps keep me hydrated. And then when I put the top on it, it's got this convenient handle that I can also use it for a self-defense device if things get hairy.
I like that. I like the clothing thing. And I'm going to go back. The water, that is important. Staying hydrated, keeping the water, that is, and you can carry water and drinks around in Barcelona, so that's legal there. The clothes part too. So here's another little tip that I do, and then we'll land this plane. I never check baggage ever. Okay, no matter what, especially going somewhere, because nothing worse than getting somewhere and then you don't have clothes, whatever. So if that means that I have to wear the biggest sweater and my hoodie and my jacket to get on the plane and then take them off and put them underneath the seat then that's fine. But I have one duffel that I that works. It's my little Crestron one from Crestron Masters. And it was great. And I take it and it fits perfectly. And doesn't matter where I go for how long, even when we went before and I was went from Barcelona to, to Amsterdam to wherever, hot and cold, and it's only never checked. But on the way back, because of course, if you're in Spain, you're going to need to pick up some Spanish wine. You're going to want to bring some Spanish wine home, but you can't bring that on the plane, so you're going to have to check it. But checking it on the way back is okay, right? Because you don't need it when you get home if they happen to lose it. So there you go. That's it. That's
well,
it.
I think that's a key point if you're traveling that far and you're changing over planes. I think I would be the same. Well, hopefully I'm going to be the same when I'm going to Vegas for Infocom. It's the nervous feeling of what if they lose my bag and I'm going to a conference for a week. Whereas, at least I know I'm getting on one plane, so either they put the bag on the plane or they don't. That's the difference.
I'm a chronic overpacker, or the stuff that I wear is always very thick, so I have to take a bag. But
did you just call yourself fat?
No, I'm a size. Big difference. No, I'm husky.
Everything
Joe.
I wear is thick.
Yes,
wow.
Big fleece. But I throw an Apple AirTag in. But what I do, that's kind of my travel hack for it, is I've got these packing cubes that are compression, and I'll put 2 days worth of essential clothes in my backpack and my carry-on, so that way I at least have a little. If the unforeseen does happen, I at least got a little bit of a buffer while I figure things out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. We are at the top of the hour and 49 minutes of the show. So that being said, everybody, you can make sure you like and follow, everybody on this show. So you know how to connect us all. Again, hireav.com, ISE 20 / ISE 2024. Make sure you connect with Erin, Britt, Justin, BC, myself throughout. Follow our Twitters. You're going to get some live events. Follow us online. Make sure you check out our great partners. Our partners are on the website, hireav.com / ISE 2024. We're thankful for those who are helping it, and we're going to bring you the best content from the higher ed perspective. So that is the key. That this is you're going to see a lot of stuff, but this is geared right toward you all. And let's see if I can get this right. I can hit music. I think I can hit the music. I don't see the music. I swear I can. Oh, here it is. And of course, all the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our respective institutions, organizations, sponsors of this show, ISE itself, because I'm sure they want to have nothing to do with us after this episode. Well, actually, and no, we're there. They're bringing this out. We're going to be find us at the Influencer Hub 4F500, the Influencer Hub. Look online, and of course, all that other good stuff. And here's the title slide, and I will stop talking now, and we're going to end the show coming up. Right. It was supposed to end. It's ended. Hold on. I'm working. Watch me fade this out. Bye, everybody. That was like quite the drop. Oh, I didn't hit end recording. Okay.